All right, so get this. We're diving deep into WWE today. Specifically, this whole Liv Morgan and Triple H thing, a connection you wanted more info on. You sent over this wrestling fan YouTube channel that's calling it a mystery. And you know what? After watching it, they make some really interesting points. They're questioning if it's mentorship, something more, or just WWE playing the long game. Let's unpack this, all right? So the channel kicks off with Liv Morgan's career, and they're pretty complimentary, gotta say, calling her like vibrant and fearless, which I think is spot on. They trace her whole journey from NXT to main roster fave, but then they drop this bombshell question. How much of her success is thanks to Triple H? Now, that's where I need your expertise because I know Triple H isn't just some guy in WWE. What power does he actually have? Like, can he really make or break a superstar?
Oh, he's definitely not just there for show. Triple H is the Executive Vice President of Global Talent Strategy and Development. So, yeah, he pretty much has the final say on who gets the big breaks, what storylines they get. And let's be real, who gets pushed to the top. It's interesting, the YouTube channel mentions Becky Lynch as an example. Apparently, Triple H was one of her earliest supporters, even when others weren't so sure. He saw her potential, and now, well, she's a huge star.
Okay, so Triple H definitely knows talent when he sees it, but the channel goes even further. They suggest there might be behind-the-scenes collaborations between Liv and Triple H. Does that even happen in wrestling? Like, do veterans work directly with the up-and-comers?
Oh, absolutely. Mentorship's huge in pro wrestling. It's super common for the vets to take the younger talent under their wing, sharing knowledge, helping them improve, and even giving advice on navigating the whole industry.
Makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Wrestling isn't just athleticism, it's performance, storytelling, connecting with the audience. Having someone like Triple H guiding you through that, that's invaluable. The source even mentions Liv's finisher move being similar to one Triple H used back in the day. They're suggesting it could be a nod to their connection. What do you think?
Could be. Those little details can mean a lot in wrestling. They often hint at future storylines or character development. It's all part of the storytelling.
All right, so there's definitely a connection, but the channel keeps bringing up the timing. Why all this buzz about Liv and Triple H now? They're making it seem like there's more to it. Is there something specific happening, or are they reading too much into things?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. The channel points to this recent promo, Liv Cut, where she mentions learning from the best. They think it could be a reference to Triple H, hinting at a WrestleMania feud later on.
Learning from the best, is that really that much of a clue? I mean, a lot of wrestlers say that.
True. But remember, context is everything in wrestling. The source points out this promo aired right after a backstage segment where Liv and Triple H had a brief interaction. They're saying WWE is intentionally dropping these hints to get fans talking.
So even if it's not a major storyline yet, just planting the seeds is already creating buzz. Win-win for WWE and Liv, right?
Exactly. And that's where kayfabe comes in, that mix of reality and fiction. The source points out this whole mystery keeps fans guessing and debating.
This is already getting deep. The source is pretty invested in this mystery. What do you think about their approach?
Well, we can't forget wrestling thrives on speculation and intrigue. It's what keeps fans coming back. This YouTube channel is just tapping into that, encouraging people to analyze the clues and make their own theories. They're building a community around trying to uncover the truth.
Like, we're all amateur detectives trying to crack the case of Liv and Triple H. I'm hooked. So we've got this talented wrestler on the rise, a legend pulling strings, and a ton of mystery around their connection. But before we go full on into fan theories, let's understand what's at stake for both Liv and Triple H. This isn't just whispers and cryptic promos. It's about their careers, their legacies, maybe even the future of WWE itself.
It really is. And the source highlights how both Liv and Triple H are at these crucial points in their careers. Liv's on the verge of breaking into that top tier, while Triple H is shaping the future of WWE. Their connection, whether it's real or just perceived, adds a whole other layer to their journeys.
That's what makes this so fascinating, right? It's not just about them, it's how they fit into the bigger WWE story. And the source does a good job of connecting those dots. They even bring up Triple H's wife, Stephanie McMahon, who's a major player herself. They suggest that her dynamic with Liv could become a factor too. Now, I'm no wrestling historian, but I remember Stephanie being a force back in the day. Could we see like a power struggle here? A clash of personalities, maybe?
It's definitely possible. The source points to a past storyline where Stephanie and Triple H had this huge falling out, very public and dramatic. They're suggesting that history could repeat itself, with Liv caught in the middle. Imagine the tension, the betrayals, the shifting alliances.
Man, that would be intense. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. The source acknowledges that right now, it's all speculation. They're encouraging viewers to look for clues, to analyze every interaction between Liv, Triple H, and even Stephanie. They even point to Liv's recent change in attire. She's been wearing darker colors, more aggressive gear. They're wondering if that's a subtle hint of Triple H's influence, like a darker, edgier Liv emerging. It's like they're saying, pay attention to the details, folks. They might mean something.
And that's what keeps wrestling so engaging. It's not just the matches. It's the stories, the characters, the constant guessing game of what's real and what's part of the show. This YouTube channel is doing a great job highlighting those nuances, connecting dots that casual fans might miss. They're inviting us to be active participants in the story, to, like, decipher the code.
It's like they're saying, don't just watch, think. So we've got the mystery, the speculation, the potential for some serious drama. But let's step back. Why should we even care? Why is this Liv and Triple H connection so captivating?
Because it taps into something fundamental about us, our fascination with power dynamics, with mentorship, and with ambition.
Ooh, okay. Let's break that down. What are we really seeing play out here?
On one level, it's the classic mentor-student story. We see this young, talented person being guided by a seasoned veteran, a master of their craft. There's an inherent appeal to that, the passing of the torch, the potential for greatness.
Like watching a hero's journey.
Right, exactly. But then there's this other layer, the power dynamic. Triple H isn't just a mentor, he's a figure of authority, someone who can make or break careers. So there's this tension, this uncertainty. Is Liv really benefiting, or is she being manipulated, used as a pawn in a bigger game?
So it's not just a feel-good mentorship story. There's a darker side, like something could go wrong.
Precisely. And that's where it gets really interesting. The source even suggests Liv might have to break free from Triple H eventually to forge her own path. They mention her rebellious streak, her willingness to defy expectations. Could we see a showdown, the student turning against the master?
Now that would be a storyline. But even if it doesn't go that far, this connection's already given Liv a huge boost. Just being associated with Triple H puts her on another level, right?
No doubt. The source highlights how Liv's been in more prominent matches and storylines since this connection started getting attention. She's getting opportunities to show off her skills, to connect with more fans. Whether it's intentional or not, Triple H's presence is putting a spotlight on her voice.
It's like she's being fast-tracked to stardom, but at what cost? The source does raise concerns about Liv losing her individuality, becoming too reliant on Triple H. Is she still that same vibrant and fearless competitor they praised at the beginning? Or is she becoming something else, more calculated, more controlled?
That's the question, isn't it? And it gets to the heart of pro wrestling. That blurring of lines between reality and performance, the struggle between who we are and who we pretend to be, bring on the wild theories. The source definitely digs into those. They even have a whole section on fan speculation, which, come on, that's half the fun of being a wrestling fan, right?
Totally. Wrestling fans are seriously creative, always coming up with these elaborate theories. And you know what? Sometimes they're right. So the source starts with this theory that connects to Triple H's past. Remember, he was part of this group called Evolution back in the day, all about, well, evolving and taking over WWE. Some fans think Triple H is trying to build a new evolution with Liv at the center. They point to like her attitude shift, the more aggressive style, even her darker clothes, signs she's being prepped for a leadership role.
That's a classic wrestling move, creating a dominant group. It always gets people talking. The source even throws out the idea that other rising stars, people like Rhea Ripley or Austin Theory, could be brought in. They'd be an unstoppable force.
Oh man, can you imagine? Total game changer for WWE. But hold on, it gets even crazier. The source throws out another theory that's even more wild. A love triangle.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
All right, remember we talked about Stephanie McMahon, Triple H's wife, how she could get involved? Well, some fans think there might be some, romantic tension building between Liv and Triple H. They point to those quick looks, the hushed conversations, that undeniable chemistry. And they think Stephanie might get jealous, which would lead to this whole power struggle that could blow up the Authority.
Wow, now that's some next-level drama.
Yeah.
Got to give the fans credit for their imagination. They take a few hints and run with them is what makes wrestling so entertaining. It's all about going with it, embracing the drama, and getting caught up in the possibility.
Yeah, the source totally encourages that. They end by saying, look, these are just theories, but in WWE, anything can happen. So I gotta ask, what's your take? Any of these wild theories resonate with you? Or is there a simpler explanation for this whole Liv and Triple H thing?
I honestly think there's a little truth to all of them. WWE is so good at blurring the lines between real and fake, keeping us in suspense. They play on our love of drama, the intrigue, those what-if moments that keep us glued to the screen. So maybe Liv's being prepped for a leadership spot, maybe there's some romance brewing, maybe it's all a publicity stunt, or maybe it's something we haven't even thought of yet.
That's what's so great, right? We don't know for sure, and that's what keeps us coming back. We're all in on this experiment, this massive story that keeps unfolding.
Exactly. And that's what makes pro wrestling such a unique and enduring form of entertainment. It's a world where anything's possible, where dreams come true, and where the good guys and bad guys aren't always so clear.
Couldn't have said it better. We really dug deep into this Liv Morgan and Triple H connection. We explored the source material, looked at the clues, considered the fan theories, and had a really insightful conversation about what it all means. But as we wrap up this deep dive, one thing really sticks with me. Whatever happens with Liv and Triple H, their connection has sparked this discussion. It's fired up our imaginations, and it's reminded us of how powerful storytelling is. It entertains us, makes us think, and brings us together in ways we might not expect, and that's worth appreciating. A huge thank you to you, expert speaker, for sharing your knowledge and going on this journey with me. And to you, our awesome listener, thanks for being here. We hope you enjoyed it, and keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those theories coming. We'll see you on the next deep dive, where we'll tackle a whole new set of fascinating topics. Until then, stay curious.